to this moment like the dead of the night. I'm falling, falling, faster we go.
Happy Nightmare Night, everyone! It is I, the Pony of the Night, Harmonight, the one who takes flight, shines bright, and loves to sing out in the moonlight. And for this spooktacular special, we are actually going to be doing something quite different. We are going to do a react to a review of one of my favorite episodes of Friendship is Magic, Luna Eclipsed. Now, what's interesting about this particular review is the pony behind it. From G5 reacting to audio drama voice acting, this creative cult has certainly been making a name for themselves in the MLP fandom. I'm talking about the one, the only, my fellow Friendship is Tragic comrade and the good kind of FCC, Foalan Cortez Colt. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally get the chance to react to Foalan on my channel. From the editing to the visuals to the thumbnails, their content creating skills are truly extraordinary. And they're not just a great content creator, but they're also an amazing person. I had the opportunity to meet them ever since I first joined Friendship is Tragic 2, and I'm not gonna lie, they are quite the cult. You didn't hear anything from me? Don't tell Luna. Anyways, I've been talking too much. I say let's get our spooky special started, shall we? Okay, so with that, let's stop the ramble and start the—
Hello, Harmonight!
Oh my gosh, Foalan? What are you doing here?
I hope I'm not interrupting, but I thought I'd come by to say hello.
Huh, and here I was thinking I was just gonna do a reaction to one of your videos, but this takes it up to a whole other level, and I absolutely love it.
I can't thank you enough for reacting to my video. Plus, you offered it, so this was inevitable.
That is true. Though, we do have to give a little bit of praise to the Princess of the Night herself for making this happen. But regardless of the type of video, I was really looking forward to getting the chance to check out your content because you make some amazing stuff. And hopefully, this isn't the only time I get to do it.
Also, to those of you viewers currently watching, please go ahead and smash subscribe to this awesome fella. He's such a great dude and I highly recommend his channel.
Aw, Foalan.
I love him so much as a friend, and from one reactor to another, I love his content so much, and all of you should too.
I am just at a total loss for words right now. Just thank you so much for that, Foalan. It means the world to me.
You're very welcome, buddy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to read my Stetson Austin his bedtime story. He can get a bit cranky.
Well, that's kids for ya. But nonetheless, thank you so much again for all the kind words, Foalan. And as always, I send all my love of music and Luna's Night to you, and hopefully within time, we get to see each other again in the future.
See you soon, Harmonight.
Fare thee well, Foalan. Oh, that was just so awesome, you guys. This is the first time ever that any pony has ever visited my channel. And to see that happen firsthand, it was just wow. Where were we again? Oh yeah, that's right. So with that, let's stop the ramble and start the react to Foalan Cortez's Yay or Nay Luna Eclipsed. In T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Ah, Halloween. Apart from the summer, it's probably my favorite time of the year. Like Rainbow Dash so elegantly says,
this is the best night of the year for pranks.
My inner mischievous practicality comes out in full force. I still fondly remember that one time on Halloween 2017. I dressed up as Pennywise the Clown and I stopped neighborhood traffic in the middle of the road, scaring the drivers as they honked at me with children and their parents.
Oh god, and this was a year after the whole clown fiasco. Oh boy.
Night to enjoy yourself chaotically with a fantastical
Foalan,
outfit
you
on
mischievous
truly
little
is
cult.
something unique, no matter your age.
Haha! The
The fun has been doubled!
Anyway, enough about me.
I love it.
Let's jump into an original yay or nay review.
Alright, here we go, baby.
Lunar Eclipsed has always struck out to me as probably one of the most impactful episodes of Friendship is Magic to date.
Really?
Funnily enough, I find
Wow.
myself rewatching this episode every single time spooky season arises.
Ooh.
But Nightmare on Main Street will more than likely have its competition with me, personally.
Oh, boy.
It even has one
No
of the
spoilers.
highest rated
I haven't
scores
got to
on
that
IMDb,
episode yet.
and it was rewarded
Sorry.
4th place
I know I'm
for
behind.
best episode at the final BronyCon in America.
Oh.
Seriously. Google it. This story
Damn.
is expertly crafted.
I wonder if
with
it would have
themes
been
of
in Crusaders the Lost
individuality
Mark for
and definition
Bronze.
of character, while
Probably
our main
not. It was the
reformed
5th
but
year
rejected
anniversary episode.
protagonist attempts to deal with self-image repair, with the celebration of Halloween being merely nothing but a groovy backdrop to support this notion in the visual department. I also adore how
nice.
the title is a play on lunar eclipse, where the moon is darkened due to it moving into the Earth's shadow. It's rather the intriguing metaphor to how Luna's redemption is overshadowed by the ancient myths that still fester in Ponyville. Every pony-fearing Nightmare Moon is
I
standing
never
right in
thought
front
of it
them
that
without
way.
considering the light inside
But
behind Luna's
thinking about how the
mistaken
story
feisty
plays out, it
exterior.
does make
You
sense.
no longer have reason to fear us.
The concept of Nightmare Night is something wonderful to implement in the equestrian universe, as there
Yep.
never was an indication that Halloween would be something significantly renowned in previous
Wait a minute,
generations.
My Little Pony
Of
used to be on
course, it's
Disney?
just spoopy season for
Damn,
ponies,
I didn't
but
know
I do
that.
adore how closely
That's probably
it
the reason
resembles
why I
our
probably
world's
had, like,
own
a
way of
G3
honoring the
matching
holiday.
card game set.
Pumpkins scattered around the town, traditional games and activities, and all the terrifying decorations your child mind would grandeur at the thought of owning. It's rather aesthetically pleasing to the eye, if I do say so myself. I even find our heroes' costumes, bar rarity for some reason,
Where
Yeah,
was
that's-
she?
hilariously fit into their temperaments and how they would decide to spend their time during Nightmare Night. Twilight Sparkle being the typical nerdy bookworm taking pride in her dress as Starswell the Bearded, a famous face in equestrian legend, despite everybody's lack of acknowledgement of his name. So much
I know,
in fact,
right?
that
Oh
she
my gosh.
displeasingly comments about his own devoted sector in Canterlot's library.
He even has a shelf in the Canterlot Library of Magic named after him.
Starswell
Wow.
was a devoted seeker of wisdom,
No respect.
and perhaps his
No
clever
respect for
complexions are
pony
passed on to
kind.
Twilight in this episode, giving her extra sensibility for being the only one to approach Princess Luna and help her learn the brighter side of the celebrations. She also influences her friends at the same time to do aforesaid that Luna is no longer the monster that they perceived her as being for so long.
Play
Yeah.
new games, have some fun. Fun? What is this
Fun,
without
fun,
stuff?
fun. Damn
Then
it,
there's
Rowan.
Applejack costumed as a scarecrow. Her outfit is probably my favorite of the bunch for how
Really?
much it represents the usual prairie lifestyle for those out on a
Yeah,
farm.
makes
I
sense.
can't help how that assumption reminds me of something like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Whoa.
and scarecrows being an uncommon phobia, due to them appearing similar to something of that, like hanged corpses. See what I
Damn.
mean? Sorry if I have just triggered some of you. Even her game of apple bobbing is such a classic for Halloween, and once again appropriate for Applejack. Rainbow Dash being a shadow bolt is quite an ironic choice of costume.
Yeah, I was
for
about to
writer
say,
Emily
how
Larson,
ironic.
as the shadow bolts were vaguely just an illusion generated by Nightmare Moon in part 2 of season 1's opener. They were created to stroke on Rainbow's egotism to join a team equivalent to the Wonderbolts at the cost of abandoning her friends in a time of dire need.
Just let me tie this bridge real quick, and then we have a deal. No! It's them or us.
Her dressing up as one is honestly humorous, as she's
Yeah,
under no
but
obligation
I gotta
of
say, it is a
loyalty
cool
or
costume.
restricted to keeping her strong roguishness behind bars. She is free to play any kind of uncanny prank on the one night of the year where this kind of leisure is tolerated.
Yep.
It's all in good fun.
With
Yeah.
how many times Rainbow goes out of her way to cause mayhem being a dark latitude shooting bolts, Luna gets a happy slice of subversion on her.
I didn't
with
even see
hilarity
that
from
comparison. That
Twilight.
is clever. I love it.
However, of course, being an extremely
It's all in good fun,
isolated and
Rainbow.
shock-to-the-core
All in good
characterized
fun.
pony, Fluttershy cannot see sense for why people would willingly take delight in Nightmare Night. She instead decides to stay home with the lights off, like a boring parent who don't want annoying children knocking on their door. I love how Twilight remarks that Fluttershy has the gentlest voice in the whole town, and immediately after... she gives Luna's royalty voice a run for its money. Fluttershy's small role was hugely intriguing for how much it would produce the footprint for a future Nightmare Night-themed episode, Scaremaster, where she learns how to lighten up to the spooky holiday and try to appreciate it with an open mindset. Despite that episode coming out 4 years later, I am in awe with hindsight at how Fluttershy's friendship lesson is so alike to what Princess Luna progressively experiences in Lunar Eclipsed. Two out-of-touch characters that are encouraged by friends to basically cheer up and enjoy themselves by learning
just come
how
out
to
of
steer
your
the
shell.
festivities in the right direction. But when all hell breaks loose or nobody is simply interested with what they have to offer, they vindicate themselves by going out of their way to initiate a stronger reception that frankly outbeats the ordinary.
That was the best thing ever!
Even if it does tend to go a little bit overboard.
It's a wonderful piece of knowledge that will definitely influence children of all ages that if you stand out differently from the crowd, you will categorically become a greater headstrong person with an increasing amount of charisma. Not to mention the overemphasizing of chilling tales or ghost stories for curious children that are eager to indulge themselves further in the immersion. Zeccora's inclusion during the scene essentially taking the mick out of Nightmare Moon is quite an exhilarating excursion. Damn. Did I just do a Sakura? Now that is
Wait, what? Oh man, I missed that. Damn it.
You sound foolish.
How dare you?
I wouldn't say Princess Luna's introduction is convenient
Oh
in
my
any way.
gosh.
It just comes down
It was
to
the best.
unfortunate
It was probably
timing
the
when it's
best
perfectly
character
timed
introduction
with the
ever.
last of Zeccora's whimsicals,
Especially, I love that
expressing
hood.
she
Oh
won't
my
return
God.
if the Colts and Phillies offer her some sweets, and boom, she's up there in the sky like an evil fairy godmother.
I need a hero.
The cinematography is pretty awesome too. How the camera is positioned below the descending chariot gives the
that is some pretty
impression
good
that
camera
Luna
angle
hasn't
action.
changed her ways, showing her dominion over the puny-like ponies on the ground. The lightning with the cliche sound effects, which I too am
just
guilty
those
of
silhouette
using,
eyes. Oh
was
my
to
God,
be
I love
expected
it.
from a character like her, given her first appearance was somewhat villainous.
The night will
Somewhat.
last forever!
Oh, scary! I even appreciated that subtle touch when Luna jumps from the chariot to the ground. Her black cloak disintegrates into a camp of
I wouldn't
bats.
say. Ooh.
Yes, that's really what they are called. This displays how Luna no longer has to wear a disguise
more you know.
to cover her insecurities, and finally has the freedom that I am fairly certain she's craved after spending an unthinkable amount of time trapped in the moon. Sadly, due to the countless perpetuating stereotypes made about Princess Luna, Ponyville's residents cannot seem to recognize how Luna has relinquished her dark counterpart and jealousy of her older sister, believing that nothing has changed.
And that she still has that darkness inside her.
I swear, her tone of language is something ripped straight out of the Salem Times.
I never knew
I
what pretend
mean-
Salem was. It's Christian women and their covenanted
not
men,
wrong.
and all of them boiling in lust.
Thy backside is whole and ungobbled, thou ungrateful whelp!
It's not an intentional act of ignorance, but it's still fueled by her being out of her time. The citizens
Exactly.
cower in fear because they have no reason to doubt her abilities, having never met her to prove otherwise. Despite
Understandable.
them literally having a bonkers party with her a season earlier. That kind of is a confusing oversight.
Yeah,
Although
continuity
this
error.
episode explores another side of that particular argument when Ponyville are basically indirectly bullying the dragon. Not Spike, It's a phrase. With everyone offending Luna, mainly Pinkie Pie, by always referring to her as Nightmare Moon, it's no wonder she becomes so enraged by all the negative backlash. After all the effort she tries putting into fitting right in, it just results in everyone regressing back into fearing her again. Hence why Luna cancels Nightmare Night, being convinced that the holiday is smothered in hatred for her alter ego.
We decree that Nightmare Night shall be cancelled forever!
It's easy to sympathize with Luna's outburst here, no matter how excellent her glorious performance is while asserting her true feelings on the matter. You can produce the impression that Luna has wanted to yell out something so harrowing and deeply rooted like that in centuries. It reminded me of the short story I've Got No Mouth and I Must Scream, where the main character ends up being perceived as an abomination to nature and everyone around them, and all they want to do is unleash all of their emotions in a single scream. I highly recommend checking that story out. It's terrifying. Of course, that tale's outcome is more gruesome and grimmer than Luna's inner feelings, but I wholly understand why Luna feels outcast when all she is doing is only having fun.
Nightmare Night is one of the most popular celebrations we
Aww.
have. You can tell by all the adoring shrieks of the children as they run away.
It's quite depressing if you think about it. Which brings us to Pinkie's role in the episode.
Yep,
And
here we go.
honestly,
Here
her
we go.
behavior is insulting to Princess Luna.
Bad! No! Bad, bad! No! Bad!
No matter how savvy she turns out to be by pretending to be scared by Luna's appearances, Pinkie still incited the riot that led to the activities being demolished and got all the successive festivities shut down.
And the fact that she
Yet
doesn't
it is
even...
implied that Luna is the one who needs the lesson. If Pinkie hadn't helped relieve her of her burdens in the moon in the previous season, then she wouldn't be so willing to call a truce with her. Had she spoken up sooner about her simply taking the piss out of the holiday, no harm would have been caused on her part.
Exactly.
Luna's image becomes deteriorated as a byproduct of this, and she gets understandably hurt when most of her heartfelt efforts fail, which culminates in her walk of shame after she declares Nightmare Night cancelled. It wasn't really funny when Pinkie pretty much said, "Gotcha," upon being confronted by Twilight for being the final nail in the holiday's coffin.
Twilight, I'm almost as big as her. How's she gonna gobble me up?
Yeah, no Sherlock.
Yes, it is appealingly wacky to be scared or scare someone, but only when the receiving party is also aware that it's just a joke and not a realistic reaction.
Exactly.
It further makes me wish that Twilight wasn't the only one in Ponyville offering their consolations from the beginning. It's only solely down to the ingrained prejudice throughout an unknown number of years in the residents' heads that they are stunned by her arrival.
Screams of delight is what your princess desires, not screams of terror!
And also, Nightmare on Main Street explores the exact same concept, but down the opposite route. Once Oblivion turns up on their doorsteps, every single one of Maritime-based citizens make a happy mockery of her, as they are blissfully oblivious to the real danger Oblivion can impose in the future. This is why I also love that episode from G5. It's so good.
And again, no spoilers. Well, then again, I mean, they kind of already spoiled me with that, so...
I gotta love how
I'll probably forget about it in the next few days,
up the courage to speak to Luna.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Her coming back every year to give them a fright. We learn that this Nightmare Night is his very first, and considering that he is essentially a fish out of water when he moved to Ponyville from Trottingham, it gives him and Luna the spotlight scene of the episode by the end. Luna recognizing the joys of using the legend of Nightmare Moon and giving it a fresh spin for the better, while she can bring happiness in the face of a spooky holiday.
Art thou saying that thou likest me to scare you?
It's really fun. Scary, but fun.
Plus Pipsqueak demonstrating to hundreds of kids to not be afraid of anything that may appear terrifying at first. Just because you may have heard a dangerous thing or two about a particular individual, you shouldn't jump instantly to conclusions.
Exactly.
Some point seems a little intimidating, even scary. When you offer them your friendship, you'll discover a whole new pony underneath.
Twilight inscribes this lesson during the final moments.
And I love that
but
lesson.
I can also imagine Pipsqueak writing something similar in a diary of his own. You could even replace Twilight with Pipsqueak in this episode,
Wow.
and I doubt much about the episode would change.
That would have been
It's
interesting.
wholesome as and I love it.
Yep. Oh, okay, results.
So, repeat after me, Fluffbutts. Was it a yay or a nay? There is no argument here. Plenty of character arcs to absorb, plenty of creepy visuals to be amazed by, and it's a ton of fun to just sit down and watch. Aside from a few punches in its own jack-o'-lantern, it's a really solid Halloween story. You lot watching could have predicted this result coming from a mile away. I am giving this episode a yay. The overabundance of thirsty Luna fans may have emerged from this
Princess Luna's still best princess, damn it. And I'm one of them. I'm f***ing one of them.
Eclipsed is simply gorgeous. The Halloween theming alone is exquisite.
Gorgeous!
And almost every character fits the story to a T. As the title of this video clearly reads, it's the perfect reintroduction for Princess Luna. Her being ostracized by Ponyville combined with her depressive mental state to fit in with everyone is something easy to be saddened by, and it's ultimately heartwarming. And above all else, it's written with buckets of love. Yet it left me yearning for an improvement on Pinky's
Thanks,
part.
Larson.
It's undeniable that she is the biggest letdown, and not even the Pinky being Pinky argument can save her involvement in the plot. I believe that if Rarity or Fluttershy was
I'm
instead
surprised
made the
Rarity
culprit
wasn't in
and
this
not
episode.
Pinky, it would have made an ounce bit more sense on their part. I also had a desire that the residents should have had a more justified reason to be afraid of Luna rather than dumbing down to stereotypes. These little bitty
as well as just
nitpicks
past
were bothersome,
history.
but luckily not certainly enough to detract me from the outstanding moral and entertaining material this episode provides. Lunar Eclipse is a masterclass pumpkin. Great work. I give Lunar Eclipsed a yay and an 8 out of 10. This will probably be the only Friendship is Magic Season 2 Yay or Nay review that I will make on this channel. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed watching this one, and
I would have given it like an 8.5, maybe a
so
9.
I will gladly give Lunar Eclipsed a very befitting A rank on the Season 2 tier list.
But an 8 out of 10?
Ooh,
Usually
thank you so
8 tiers
much for
are like
watching this
9
review,
out of 10 and
Fluffbutts. I
stuff.
seriously hope you enjoyed, and happy Halloween, everyone! I hope you all will enjoy your night tonight. Do be sure to like and hoof tap this video, and comment your thoughts down below of what you thought of Lunar Eclipsed as well, and subscribe to my channel for more videos and many more content.
Be sure to
soon.
subscribe and
Also,
give all your
don't
love
forget
and
to leave
support
a
to
pledge
Foalan,
on
you
my
guys. They
Patreon page
totally
down in the
deserve it.
description below, so you can help support me in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye. And just before this video ends, I would like to shout out my Silver Fluffbutt patrons.
Hey,
Louise
shout out to the
Wade and
patrons
Alan
as well.
Smith, and my Gold Fluffbutt patrons. Owen Wildish, Darth Siler 12, Farina Smith, Kiki Bat VA, and the Pate and Grower Fultrisky. I really appreciate all your love and support.
Alright. Well, that was a pretty good review right there. So, I will say I may have overhyped myself a little bit, but nonetheless, it was a very informative video, and Foalan did deliver some good points for this episode. Like, for example, Luna's struggle. Not only with understanding Nightmare Night's festivities, but fitting in with society in a modern age. Because as a lot of you may know, Luna was imprisoned in the moon for 1,000 years, and wasn't really able to see Equestria evolve over time. So with the help of Twilight and a couple others, she was able to understand. Though it did come with a little bit of conflict, such as the fact that the citizens of Ponyville was ostracizing Luna, as well as Pinky's shenanigans. Which, by the way, I agree with Foalan. Pinky should have gotten reprimanded due to her actions, because yes, I understand you're trying to make a joke out of the situation, but it's only a joke if the other party is well aware of it. But in this case, Luna wasn't, and she took all these pranks that Pinky was pulling personal. And this was part of the episode where I related to Luna most, because I know it's like to be in a situation where people only see the negative in you or only think back on past events that you regret doing to this very day. And it's so frustrating because it's like, can't we just see the light inside of individuals instead of having to reignite the darkness that resides in them? I mean, if I had to put this into a quote, it would be this: a moon has phases, but when it's full, it shines bright like any sun would, even in the darkest of nights. And that was the exact lesson that was learned towards the end of this episode. And overall, it was absolutely good. Though, if you were to ask me, I give it an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. But if we were to do it by a tier list, an A by Foalan is an A by me. And I myself, Harmonight, hope to do a react to Luna Eclipse in the future. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed my Nightmare Night special react to Foalan Cortez's Yay or Nay Luna Eclipse. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, check out the rest of my reactions and reviews, click on the bell all as well, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at BritsRoller732, and I give you a bow for a jolly good show. And as always, I send all my love of music and Luna's Night to you all, every pony. By the way, did I just get friendzoned by Foalan on 4K?